everyone, it is Misty and I am here with Jennifer Long and we are going to be making this adorable pumpkin treat bag. Jennifer, thank you so much for being here. Tell everyone a little bit about yourself and our project we'll be making today.
Perfect. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
My name is Jennifer Long. I'm a Riley Blake Designs fabric designer, and this fabric collection is called Little Witch. And this project we're going to make today is a cute pumpkin trick-or-treat bag.
It's so cute.
Yeah, and it's reminiscent of the plastic ones that you would carry around when you were a little kid, but this one's in fabric, fully lined,
Which makes it that much cuter.
Oh yes,
right?
fully lined, and you can add lots of just different little embellishments to it. So we're going to have lots of fun today sewing together.
All right, so let's talk about the supplies. What do we need to make this?
Perfect. So we are using the Little Witch fabric collection, which you can see there's lots of great different little prints in this collection. There's little spider dots. There's little
witch socks.
Here's the main print that has a witch's hat and a little spider web with a great floral in it, some little potions. And then this print is just one of my favorites here. It's got little tiny bats in there too. And this print here, I just want to call out, it's one of my favorites. It's because I am an early childhood educator. This one is thought of from the poem that goes 5 Little Pumpkins. So there's 5 little pumpkins sitting on a gate.
I love that.
It's actually 5 little pumpkins sitting on a gate there. So we're going to need this, and we're going to need a couple of different stabilizers.
All right.
So we're going to use this Heat and Bond fusible fleece. So this fusible fleece is going to be for the outside. And then on the inside, we're using a craft weight or a heavyweight fusible interfacing.
Okay.
And then for this leaf, we are going to use the Missouri Star fusible web.
Perfect.
Yes, perfect. So that's what we need.
All right, let's get started. All right.
Well, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is just cut out our pattern pieces. So we have the main pumpkin piece, and then the bottom piece, and then the handle.
Okay.
And then also there's a couple of different faces you can choose.
Oh, cute.
So you can see this one has sort of a longer face, and this one is just a shorter face here. So we're going to get all of our pieces prepped.
Okay.
Since we already have a purple pumpkin, I thought today we'd make an orange pumpkin.
Seems right.
So I'm going to grab my orange fabrics, and we can just kind of play out and lay them out here and see which ones we want. We need 6 in total, so you can use all 6, but what I'm thinking I'm going to do is do these 3 for the main outer, and then I'm going to use this one for the lining.
Oh, perfect.
Inside. And I'm going to use this one. I want one that's a little more tonal because I'm going to use it for the face, so we can really
so
lose the
pop
face.
off of there. That makes sense.
Okay, so we're going to take these and we're going to take the pattern piece, but before we do that, you'll just need to make sure you have 6 pieces and that fusible fleece. So you're going to press the back of your fabrics to your fusible fleece and then cut out 6 pieces. So I already have them done here.
Okay.
And I'll show you that. Just move those over here. So I have 6 pieces here. Here's the first 3, and then I have 3 that are prepped here to go. So you can arrange them in whatever order you want. And before we begin sewing them, if you're opting to put the little face on, this is the time we do it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
So we'll take that Missouri Star
So light fusible.
So light fusible, and we're going to just use, I love this cutter that you have here.
Yeah, so you just tuck that under there and it'll slide through.
Excellent, okay. And you can use your pen or a marker and just trace that face. If you have a light box, that's great. You can do that too. And then I've already done this one and I've already pressed it, but you would take it over to your iron and just press it on the wrong side of your fabric.
Perfect.
And then we're going to just cut it out. So I'm going to give you...
Sorry, those have the little cap on them.
Oh, yes, they do. I'm going to give you a couple to cut, and I'll do the mouth.
That sounds great.
Good. So we'll work together, and we'll just cut this out on the line. And you can use these faces, or you can be as creative as you want.
I was going to say, you could absolutely make your own, or have your kiddos make their own.
For sure.
So cute.
Yeah, just like carving your own pumpkins, it's so fun to just, make your own faces too. Or you can mix and match, take the eyes from one face and the mouth from another face.
Yeah, give it some personality, right?
And I'm just gonna have to shout out these scissors again, Misty. Oh, these are so great.
Oh, I'm so glad you like them.
Yes. Okay. So here's my garbage. And
right.
while Misty's cutting still, we're just going to talk about how we're going to fuse this on. So on the back is the paper side, and if you just fold the corner slightly, then you can see it kind of separates on its own. So then you just pull it apart, and it leaves this shiny side, which is like a glue side.
Here's our little nose.
Great, and you can just place it where you want. Something to be very cognitive of or aware of is your seam allowance here. So you have a 1/4 inch seam allowance on both sides of the pumpkin, and you want to make sure that your face isn't in there. So I don't want to have my mouth, even if I want to give him kind of a little fun face like this, you just want to make sure that you're not too close to the edge.
Sense.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Good. So once you're happy with the layout and arrangement of the face, then we're just going to take it over to the ironing board, and I'll just press him.
Looks great.
Okay, so because it's, I don't want to press, pushing it away so that we don't move anything here, I'm just going to push straight down on it and hold, and then I'm going to lift it straight back up. So I'm going to do really like pressing and not ironing. Good, so just up and down movement. And
Looks
just,
good.
Yeah, just to make sure it's tacked down. And then we're going to do just a straight stitch with a coordinating thread color, and this happens to be black, so just 1/8 of an inch on the inside of the perimeter around all of those shapes.
All right.
And one tip and trick is if you have, your machine has the ability to have the needle down position like Misty has, it really makes it for a much more accurate sewing. So you can just keep that needle down in that corner. And then, perfect, yes, wonderful. And then we can trim all those pieces at all the little threads at the end as well. It's really helpful, especially on like the mouth area where you're going around the teeth.
Pivoting quite a bit there, yeah.
Yes.
All right. There we go. And I'll just keep making my way around, and then we'll see you back here when this is all done. All right, we are just finishing up these last few stitches, so I will back stitch and cut my threads. There we go. Now we can trim off those last few.
Excellent. Good. So I'll just get all of those threads off at the front. You don't have to worry about them too much at the back as long as they're not going to come through the seam. So that's just fine at the back.
Perfect.
So there he is. He's ready to go.
So cute.
He is. Okay, so now you want to make sure that your layout is correct, that how you want it, if you wanted to have these on this side or just playing with your layout. And you're going to flip them and sew them right sides together.
Okay.
So you're going to do 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way along here and along here. And you're just going to do that for all 6 pieces on the front. This is really easy to sew because it is fused with this fusible fleece, so it doesn't like fold as easy as fabric does, so you don't necessarily need to pin it, or I can pin it for you.
No need.
No, okay.
All right. Thank you. All right, so just a 1/4 inch.
Just a 1/4 inch here. Sorry, and I should say it's okay this time, but I do like to go forward and back at the beginning of this, just because it's going to have a little bit of pull as we are like turning the bag. So it's really nice if you can do like a back stitch at the beginning and at the end.
I did it at the end. There we go.
Okay. Good, and if you can do that on this side as well. So we're going to have it from this side. We're going to flip it over.
Perfect.
And line it up. Good.
You got it.
And I am a professional doll maker, so one little tip and trick too, all machines are different, but sometimes it's really nice to shorten your stitch length. So especially if you're going to have a lot of pressure on your seams, I like to use a 2mm or even a 1.5mm.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. It's not so fun if you have to pull things out, but it is really nice for holding things really strong. So I've already done these 3 sides, and I'm just going to keep playing with how I want them to be. So I think I'll have these 2 together. Okay. So we'll just keep going and sew these all 6 panels together.
All right.
We make a good team.
Yeah.
We could just pump these out for Halloween.
I tell you what, team sewing is really the way to go.
Good, so it's really important just to manage your 1/4 inch seam allowance on the front of the bag so that the inside lining matches, and we'll give you tips and tricks for that as well when we get there.
All right, and just this last seam of the front. Make sure I'm staying all lined up. There we go.
That's fast and easy. Excellent.
All right.
So now one thing that's really important, because this is like curved seams, is that we do need to snip them.
Okay.
So I'm just taking the little scissors and I'm going to go along every single seam and go all the way around. And this is gonna let your seams just push all the way out, and it's gonna give them like a nice round, especially because you've got this fusible fleece in here. You wanna make sure you give them lots of cuts.
Yeah, it just lets that fabric kind of ease around the curve, which is what
Right.
we want.
Yes. Good. So we're gonna do this on all 6.
All right, perfect.
And the last thing I just wanted to make sure to note here is that you want to make sure that even though you're snipping so many times along the whole seam, that we don't cut so far and then go into your seam.
Yeah, that would be a sad day.
Yes, that's really important. Now, if that happens, you can either tear it out and redo this piece, or you can take it a little bit in, but you're going to have to also alter that in your lining so that they match.
So that they'll match.
Yes. Okay. Excellent. So we have this pumpkin. He's already out. He's look at him. He's pooping out already. He's taking his shape, and we're going to put his bottom on next.
Okay.
So the bottom we've cut out with the template, and we've fused it with fleece as well again. And we're going to line it right side down in there. And I'm going to take these pins.
Okay.
And I'm going to imagine that it's kind of concaving inward, and that is because we want it to have that sort of bowl shape.
Okay.
So the bowl shape is going to, I'm just going to open up the seam so it's not too much bulk there. Okay, so we're going to pin at each intersection here. And I'm going to just hold it out and kind of come around, and you kind of work, it's like, if you've quilted with curved seams before, imagine like you're doing it like that.
Okay.
So imagine that you're just sort of working this around as you go. And then you'll see that this will have like a rounded shape on the inside, like a well almost.
Perfect.
So we'll just keep going all the way around.
Every once in a while, pins are your friend, and with curves, they certainly tend to help quite a lot.
Yes, we don't pin for everything, but when we pin, we pin.
Yeah.
So yes,
Exactly.
yeah, you can see how this is taking a nice shape already here.
It's all matching up nicely.
Yeah, good. Almost there. And I'm just saying you just need to trust your pattern. So that's why you get your patterns that this has already been tested and tried. You know that the shape fits well, and that it's all going to work together, so you can just enjoy the sewing part of it.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay, so look at that.
Yeah.
So you're just going to take this to the sewing machine, and again with your 1/4 inch seam, you're just going to come around, and you're just going to have to keep readjusting this pumpkin, all of his bulk, as you kind of go around.
Sure.
Good.
All right, I'll move these over here, and then I can
Great.
take my pins out as I go. And just a 1/4 inch, right?
Just a 1/4 inch,
All right,
please.
perfect. I'll just take my time here. You do want to watch that you're not poking yourself. It's easy to do. Okay.
And I know there's lots of different ways to pin. I like to pin going into like perpendicular to my seam, just so that I can pull it out and then it doesn't shift back and forth. But so you can pin however you feel the most comfortable. But for me, for this project anyways, this is...
That's the way that works best.
Yes. And you just want to be aware that you're catching all the fabric on the front side and on the back side of your project.
I should probably check. Ooh, I missed it right here.
Well, and it's okay if you miss it because we'll just come back around, and before we turn it around, we'll catch it again.
Catch it again.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'll just keep going then.
Yes. If you don't mind, if you just want to keep moving this over, and then it kind of like relaxes
Absolutely.
its body a bit more.
Yep, thank you. I'm just looking so close to my needle here. I didn't even notice that over there.
He's kind of a like a collapsed pumpkin right now, and then he'll take shape.
Getting close here.
And depending on how much candy and how much weight you're going to have into your pumpkin, we do have a lot of stabilizer in there, and there is going to be a lining, but it's not even a bad idea if you wanted to do a second round of stitches around it.
Just to strengthen it.
To strengthen it, or if you've, reduced your stitch length, then that's just fine too.
Okay, let me come back and catch this little spot that I missed. So I'm going to do it this way so I can see. I might need to take this little bit out.
I think you should be okay if you...
Okay, just pinch it in there.
We'll
see.
Fabric is forgiving.
It's true. It actually is. All right. Make sure. It's like barely caught that edge. Sorry, guys.
You're doing good.
There we go. All right, I think we should be good now.
Perfect. Let's just see. Good. That's wonderful. So you can always test it and just like put your hand in there and test, but you're going to want to do the same thing again here and do the snips all along this bottom edge too.
Okay.
Because it is a circle.
So we will snip all of that and then we'll come back for the lining, right?
Sounds good.
Okay.
So there's the last snip on there, and now that everything's been snipped and we're going to check, we're going to actually this is one more time to check your seam allowances before we move to the next. You're going to turn him right sides out for the big reveal.
Oh,
this is the
so
exciting
cute.
part. I know.
Look at that.
So here we go. Here is his cute face, and he's coming. And he's going to take even more shape once we get him lined and filled, but that's what he's looking like already.
I can't wait.
Yes. Okay, so the next is the lining. So I'll just move him over. And the lining is done very much the same, except that we're using a different product inside. So this time we're using this fusible interfacing that it's like a heavyweight or a craft weight, and it's really, like you can see how stiff the fabric is.
Pretty rigid, yeah.
Yeah, it gives it sort of a nice strong, well, it is heavyweight here.
Yeah.
And so the other tip and trick here is that you're going to try and we did a 1/4 inch seam allowance for the outer pumpkin. For the inner pumpkin, we want to do just a little bit more, like a 3/8.
Okay.
And that's just going to suck it in a little bit more, and it just won't be super tight. So we've gone ahead and done all 5. We have the 6th one to put on. So we're going to show you this 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, and then we're going to do something special on this side just so we can turn it.
Okay.
So let's do a 3/8 seam allowance on this side.
You got it. So a 3/8 is just barely past that 1/4 inch line. So if you have your diagonal seam tape like I do on my machine, you can just hover about 1/8 of an inch over that. That's what you're looking for. Or you could make a mark if you need. There we go.
Perfect. And so now what we're going to show you, leaving a turning hole here on the inside, is something that's going to make this top the whole way around finished. We won't have to worry about it. So it's kind of like if you've ever made a stocking before or anything like that. So we're just going to do back stitch, front stitch, maybe 1.5 inches in, and then 1.5 inches in on this side.
Okay.
But leave us a nice big one because we've got a lot of product in here too.
Absolutely.
So that's good.
Okay. Make sure I'm staying lined up here at the top. There we go. And then come back down here to the bottom. I'm just going to flip it over.
Oh, that's smart. Yes, good idea.
There we go. How's that?
That is fantastic. So as far as snipping, we're just going to snip along here and here, but do not snip here yet.
Okay.
Because we're going to hand sew this together at the end.
Oh, and that would make our lives very difficult.
Yes. So you'll just snip over here and over here.
All right.
Good. So make sure all of your other edges have been snipped. I've already pre-snipped them all. And you're going to assemble this in the same way that you did the outer shell. So this is fused with that same hard, stiff, fusible interfacing, and we're going to go around and pin it the same way and sew it around in the same way.
All right, and we'll meet you back here when it's done. All right, so we have sewn in the little circle for our lining and gone ahead and snipped all the way around that.
Great. So I'll just show that the lining has that opening that is really important. And then this is our outer shell that we've already prepared.
Perfect. And I did go ahead and switch our thread to orange just to prepare for the future here.
Good. So we're just going to move these over to the side for a second, and we're going to go ahead and get this handle prepared.
All right.
So how we're going to do that is we're going to cut the strip that we need, and we're just going to make like almost like a bias tape for it. And then this is that same fusible craft weight,
the heavyweight
interfacing. I mean, it depends. If you want a really soft handle, you could use the fusible fleece, but I put this in there like this, and I'm just going to go over and press it.
Okay.
All right, so then I'm just going to press this. It will press on, we'll still need to sew it, but it'll just give it a bit more strength here.
Yeah.
Good. And then I quilted this one, but you can just go ahead and start sewing this one along the edge and come back.
Okay.
You don't even necessarily need to sew this one because I have
you,
this one
you
already.
Have one ready to go. And so you can
Yes.
see here. So she's
Yes.
just gone back and forth to give it some stability and some kind of quilting lines in there.
That's right. Okay, but we will need you to sew something right away. So
I'm happy to.
Good. Okay, so here's the prepared outside of the bag, and I'm going to choose 1, 2, 3. So that's around my center front. If you didn't put a face, then you're just going to want to know like 1, 2, 3, and then those seams at the third intersection is where you're going to put your handle.
Okay.
So you're going to want your handle to be like this. So it's going to always be reversed. And it's going to want to be straight, and you're going to have to do a little bit of like wiggling with it. If I could have some pins.
Absolutely. Here you go. Sorry.
That's okay, because the handle is shorter than the whole bag. So you're going to pin this in straight down on that center of the seam, so it's straight. And then you're going to come around, and you can see it doesn't quite match. So then you can just give him a little, oh, I'm so sorry. And
squish him just
a bit, and have that one straight there as well.
Okay.
And this is what I'd like you just to tack down now. Oh, there we go.
So we don't have to fight with it later.
Right, so that it doesn't actually end up accidentally twisting.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll do that.
Sometimes it's easier if you take this part off of your machine. I don't know if your machine does that or not. But
it's still pretty wide on this,
okay.
so I think I'll be fine.
Okay. If you have a machine at home that has like an arm out, then you could put the bag inside the arm and sew through it that way.
I'm just sewing really close to the top since this is more of a basting. Because we'll catch this again later, right?
Yes, good point. Yeah,
Okay.
1/8 of an inch. You want to be sewing in your seam allowance there.
Okay. There we go.
Excellent. Okay, so here he is. So he's been basted there, and we're going to take him and put him right inside. So depending on where you want that hand sewing to be, I'll just put it off to the back corner.
Makes sense.
And I'm going to push him all the way inside.
Unless you're like amazing at hand sewing, right? Although it's inside anyway, so.
It'll be inside. So then you're just going to fill him in so you have the right sides together.
Okay.
And you're going to have panel to panel. So we're going to put a pin in each panel so you can see that this one matches here, and we're going to go all the way around.
All right.
So we're just going to, again, lose lots of pins. Pins are our friends, especially on all these seams. And so then you can just see this one's coming out a little bit here. So I might get you to fix that if that's okay.
Sure, absolutely.
And that's just a great tip to know. That's why we like to kind of go back and forth
That's
sometimes.
where I missed it earlier. That's what I get.
There we go.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
so we'll just fix that one. So it's real, and it certainly happens. So if you just wanted to know why we're doing it, that's exactly why, because you just do have a little bit of pull.
It's a
on
good
there.
reminder.
Yes.
Just make sure I'm on that seam. There we go.
Great. Thanks, Misty.
No problem. It happens to all of us.
Oh yeah, it's all good. Perfect. So then we'll just line up those seams again, and we'll just go right through them both. And I'm just going to pin on all of them. And then we're going to do is, now this one has a handle, so I guess I'll just mention here, keeping that handle straight. We've already tacked it down, and it's just going to still line up the seams, but make sure that the handle is buried in there. So you're going through a little bit more bulk. If you haven't changed your needle in a while.
It might be time. Oh, now you're really testing me. No. Who knows the last time I changed this needle?
Oh, funny, yes. Good, and then there's going to be one more with the handle. And then you're going to go around and sew this whole seam. Okay. And you can sew the entire perimeter.
Okay.
Because the turning hole is actually inside of the lining.
That's right. Okay.
Yes.
So we'll have that nice finished edge on the top.
Yes. So you can go ahead and sew that whole perimeter.
All right, let's do it.
Thanks.
So am I using just a 1/4 inch here?
A 1/4 inch is good as long as you're catching everything.
Okay.
Yes. So if you feel like you need to go a little bit more than a 1/4 inch just to catch everything, that's completely fine. It'll just shorten up your bag just slightly.
Just a little bit.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just gonna go slightly wider, I think, just barely.
Yes.
Not quite even 3/8. I'm just gonna keep rotating this pumpkin friend around.
That's right. You can keep his body just on the back side of your
Yeah,
machine, and it goes around. And again, if you had that arm on your machine, you could, like a sleeve arm, you can just stick the head into that sleeve arm.
Mm-hmm. Oh no. I wrapped it around the pin. There we go.
Oh yeah, the pin. This is why.
We are almost back to the beginning here.
And if you can just do a back stitch at the start again, perfect.
There we go. All right, did we catch it all? I think so. We're a little close right here. I think I'll stitch that one more time just to make sure we don't have anything pop loose.
Very smart idea.
All right.
And then comes the big reveal.
Yay!
The time we're all waiting for.
I love it. There we go. All right.
Okay. So we find that opening, and we're going to do our big reveal in there so you can, it's big enough for our hand. So thank you for leaving that big space.
Of course.
Yes.
Make it easier on ourselves.
That's right. And you're just going to pull it through, and you're going to keep turning it through. Now this stabilizer here is really stiff.
Yeah.
So it's going to just take a little bit to push it through, which is great that we backstitched all those stitches too. So that's good. Okay. Yay. So here it comes. I'm just going to push it all the way through. So your pumpkin's going to look like this.
I love it.
It's going to look like that. Oh, my hand got stuck in him. So he's going to look like this, and that's perfect.
Okay.
You can right now just take this and hand sew it together. So you can do a ladder stitch through here or any kind of stitch. If you don't want a hand stitch, then you can take it on the machine and sew it there as well. So anyway, so we'll just pretend that we have done that.
Perfect.
And we'll just push him on the inside. And it's all about how you work it here.
It's really already taking shape. It's pretty amazing once you get all those pieces together. I mean, look at that. It's so cute.
So there he is. You can give it a little press if you need to, but you don't really need to because you've clipped those curves so nicely.
I was gonna say, it's laying so great.
Yeah, so there he is. And there's a little handle for it.
How cute is that? I love this, Jennifer. This is so fun.
Thank you. There's one little extra bonus that you can get in the pattern as well, and that is just a little leaf here. So there's like a little bag tag here, and you can do a little leaf. You can put a name on it.
I was going to say, it'd be so cute if you embroidered a name on there.
Yes, so you can just have fun and play with that. So
perfect. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for sharing this, and remind everyone else where they can find you if they want to follow along with what you're up to.
Yes, so my name is Jennifer Long. My business is called Sew a Story, and I'm on Instagram at sewastory_Jennifer Long, or sewastory.com is my website where everything is happening.
Perfect.
Yes.
Thanks
Thank you so much for having me.
Yep,
yes.
We will see you next time.
See you.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching at home. We're so excited to be almost 1 million quilters strong here at Missouri Star. And so if you haven't already joined our family, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified of all of our future tutorials. And we'll see you soon.